you, one of the greatest things is that you will go on the street and you're not dressed properly. And I tell you what's going to happen. You're going to see someone that you haven't seen for a very long time. And you're going to have to hide between the aisles of the supermarket so you don't get crushed by that person who's going to say, "Hi, how are you? How are you doing?" And you're so embarrassed you don't know what to say. Anyway, it is Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And of course, you're tuned to the Diana Wright Show online, live at dianawrighttv.webs.com. And we started a few minutes ago. If you're just joining us, we welcome you to the show. And we invite you to give us a call at 561-228-1921. Okay, Valentine's Day, we went over that. So it's the 14th. So if you have a loved one that you know is into Valentine's, please don't forget to buy them a gift or whatever you think they like or you know they like, because people get very upset about Valentine's. I don't, because to me it's just another day. Really, it's just really another day. We also reminded you about April 30th. It's going to be National I Love Me Day, and my crusade here to get you to love yourself just the way God made you wonderfully, and to teach your children to love themselves. Also, today is the beginning of Black History Month. And yesterday I pointed out and wondered, why is there not a white history day or a Chinese history day or an Indian history day? I was just kind of curious about that. Is it because African Americans fought to get that month? Or did we just kind of give them that month? I think that's an interesting thought for you to carry around today. Caskets for obese people, just in case you missed the first few minutes. I am not liking that. I think we should be a little more gentle with people who are obese. Yes, we know that they overeat and they have no discipline sometimes, but most of the times I think people eat because they're depressed. Some people eat when they're joyful. When I'm joyful, I don't eat, and when I'm depressed, I don't eat. So I just eat when I'm on the normal. Okay? Because food is wonderful and I love food, but food will add them inches to your hips and your waist and your face and your neck and your arms, places that you don't want it. And some of the ladies who have those nice big booties, and that is one of the hardest places to lose weight. So I'm not envying any of you for that today. No envy in my heart for that. We also spoke about the 99-cent store and how deadly it can be, and the dollar store. Just be cautious when you go in. That, remember, you're supposed to be buying things for 99 cents and $1, okay? All right. And how embarrassed are you about the way you dress and the way your teenager dresses? We need to correct that, because if you love yourself, you should want to present your best self to the public. So I'm going to ask you to make an effort to do that. Every time you get dressed, before you go out, just take a quick peek in the mirror. I love me. Say I love me. And if you don't feel really good about what you see, just change. It will make you feel so much better. I have a very big question today. And I always say that I'm going to have a segment for questions. So you can ask your questions, and I have my question today. And my question is this, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I get it out right. When you have someone in your life that disappoints you all the time, what should you do about that person? Should you invoke that movie that says, I think that person is just not into you? Should you invoke that? Or should you continue to give that person who you deeply love and care for, but they keep disappointing you? It's just like children. Their parents keep saying, I'm going to do this for you, and they never do it. How many chances should you give a friend or a loved one, or a guy, or a significant other in your life, or your husband, or your wife. How many chances do you give that person that you love so deeply, care so deeply for, but they keep disappointing you? At what point do you just say, I'm done, can't do this anymore? Loyalty is really, really, truly important to me, and I hope it's important to you too. Because if you are on the other end of always giving, and trying to please, and you're not receiving, God's grace is something that we're supposed to receive. We don't earn it. It's unmerited favor. So, what are we going to do about that? I think that's something that's very good for us to think about as we go through this weekend, as we go to worship Saturday or Sunday. We should really, truly think about that. What shall you do about people who continue to disappoint you, even though you truly love them and care for them and will do anything for them, but they keep disappointing you? How do you handle that? Do you just keep giving chances or keep going back for more pain, more tears, more hurt? I'm not so sure. I would like to get your voice. Join the conversation, 561-228-1921. And join us on Twitter and on Facebook, and let's hear what you're thinking about. Because, sometimes when you are going about your busy day, you're not thinking about a lot of things until someone else brings it up. There's something crucial that I used to do at Christmas when I used to be on radio and television. I always made sure that at Christmas time and the times when I know that you would like to have that special person in your life, whether it's Valentine or Christmas or Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday. Thanksgiving, because I know that you're supposed to be giving thanks every single day, thanking God and thanking the people around you that you appreciate. But Thanksgiving to me is the day that you truly get a chance when family gather to say thank you for all you've done and thank God for what he's providing. So that's my favorite holiday. I'm not too much into the Christmas thing and that kind of thing. And the New Year's Eve bash and that kind of stuff. It's good, it's okay. And I'm not, judging anyone, but I'm just telling you, I'm not that much into those things. But, it's something that you really need to keep in mind. Just be thankful, give thanks, always say thank you. Your husband does something for you, your wife does something for you, whether she cooked a good meal today or she did something nice for you. Don't forget to say thank you. Don't assume that people think you're thankful, or don't assume that people think that you love them if you're not telling them you do and you're not showing them that you do. Because love, again, as I always say, is an action word. And I always try at those times of the year to reach out to people who are always lonely, who have no one to cook them a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving meal. And a lot of people, women who have broken hearts, and men do have broken hearts too. So we're not going to say it's just women. Women just seem to fall down a little further into the love than guys seem to. Yes, you have some men that will be devastated also, but I think women to a greater extent fall down. So I always try to reach out to those people all the time, because I know there's something sometime that you can just say a couple of words and you will lift that person out of their deadly place that they're in, their deep, dark hole of depression. And I know for myself, when I was going through all my struggles and my pain and my tragedy for the past 5 years, there was one person who always knew when to call and pull you out of your depression. And that was my good friend, Prophetess Spirit. She always knew. It's as if she had a camera here that she could look through and see, there you go, you're about to go down in a hole. Here I am to just give you a word. Yeah? So let us try to do that for the people that we care about in our lives. And friends, when you're out there, please, 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 when your friend has a tragedy, don't say, I don't know what to say, so that's the reason I didn't call. That's not a good excuse. And as I go through my journey and I bring up those words, excuses to me always just follow that you're going to make up something. You're going to tell a lie. There should be no excuse for not showing love, not giving love, not doing what you're supposed to do, what you promised to do, and what someone else is expecting you to do. My daughter attended a school in Atlanta, and that was their principle and their motto. It was on every wall. No excuses. So if you went to that school, it doesn't matter what you do. Don't try to give the principal an excuse because he just was not having it. Mr. Jernigan. And also, if you are in a class of 30 students, 20 students, whatever, one child does something bad, he punishes the entire class. No excuses, because he believed that you should make sure that your classmates, not just yourself, are doing the right thing. I actually went to him one day because my daughter was devastated about the whole thing, because she was like, why do I have to keep getting punished because someone else did something wrong? So I went to him and I spoke to him about it. And he said, you know, I understand her frustration, but we have to do this to help children to learn to watch out for each other, to make sure each other are doing the right thing. And I understood it when he explained it, but that didn't mean that I agreed with it, because I didn't. Because I don't think you need to be punished for what other people do. It's just like when you go to church and someone in the church messes up, and you know your pastor goes up there and he's chiding the entire church, and you're saying, looking around and going, but I didn't do anything. Why am I being persecuted? I should not be persecuted for someone else's mistake. Okay? So, all right. Okay, moving right along. Something interesting I pounced upon yesterday also, giving you some knowledge and widening your scope, and reminding you, as I say widening your scope, it comes to my mind, don't insulate your children and let them only know where they live. You need to get them out there, go to other states, go to other countries, experience and explore other cultures, languages, food, quirks, mannerisms and stuff. We live in a big, wide world, especially when we have what's called the World Wide Web now. There's a big world there out to discover. So let us not insulate our children and talk about, let them thinking America is the world. America is not the world. America is a wonderful country, but it's not the world. There's a big world out there to discover. And young people, I'm speaking to you. Try to discover that world out there, because it's fascinating. You learn things. You meet other people. You see how other people live. You go to different countries and you're like amazed. Oh, but this look just like where I was born, or this, it's so different, or their food is so different, or you go to France and they eat frog legs, and I'm going, no, I don't think I want to eat frog legs. So it's really, really important. Parents, I know some of you are choosing to homeschool your children, but if you're homeschooling your children and they're losing that social network, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not so good, because your children are learning a lot of things that they really should not be learning. But I do encourage you, even if you're homeschooling your child, take that child out to explore the world. I read a story a while back about this African-American woman who was quite a successful professional, and her son was struggling in school, and she took him out of school and went to tour the world with him. She went to Europe, she went to Russia, she went all over the world. And she said when she came back with her son, she was totally amazed at how much more aware and intelligent and smart he was. He did better in school. He was such a more grounded person. And I always thought, this is years ago, I read the article about the woman. African-American woman too. And she was quite successful herself. So I guess she could afford to, take that sabbatical and go around the world. Not all of us can afford to do that. But we can afford to take our children to, if you're born in Florida, you can go to Georgia and see what's going on there. You can go to Tennessee or other states, California. You don't have to have $1 million to do that. Okay? So I'm just encouraging you to do that for your parents, your children, and yourself. Because, but doing it with your children, you will get exposed yourself. Because there's nothing worse than a child and an adult who is totally not exposed to different cultures and different things and different people. And they're always in their same little world, just there, and they don't come out of that world. Oh, I'm from Trinidad, so I only eat Trinidadian food. No. Explore another person's food, another country's food, and not just yours. You might like it, or you might not like it, but explore it anyway. All right? So that's something that we would just like you to think about. Something interesting I also discovered yesterday, that in Iceland, in Germany, and in Denmark, do you know that there's a list of names that you can give your children? And if you don't give your child that particular name, male or female, you get into trouble with the government. I was totally amazed. Because some of these people in this country that are calling their daughters Tinquisha and Aquisha and all those names that you can't even pronounce. I wonder if the U.S. government should do something like that, the outrage that would happen here. And truly, I will repeat the countries. Iceland. As a matter of fact, right now in Iceland, there's a young lady that's suing to keep the name that her mother gave her, which was not on the list. Can you believe that? Yeah. The government is telling you what to name your child because they say that they don't want any other names to affect the culture. Because if you have certain names, it indicates that you're from Iceland. I just thought that was quite strange. Germany, somewhat. Germany is not as strict as Iceland. They're the strictest from what I gather. And then Denmark is right up there. List of names you can give your children. So lots of us would be in trouble with our government if they hear the names that we've given some of our children that are burdensome. I really believe that you should give your children the name that you choose. But then how is that going to affect the person when they grow up? When I was naming my daughter, I thought about it. It was a name that I wrote down in my Bible when I went to Rome one year, and I just saw the name on a perfume bottle, and I wrote it down, and I said, whether I have a girl or a boy, I am going to name them this name. This is long before I was married or anything, or, even thought about having children. So I wrote it in my Bible, and then when my daughter was born, I gave the name out, and everyone was like, she won't be able to spell that. That's a burdensome name. That's too long. But I tell you what, it's unique, and she has done pretty well with it. Also inviting you to look at her website so you'll know part of my testimony. So when my book comes out, Deadly Negligence, you will be running to the bookstore to buy it, and you can pre-order it too. Oh, that would be nice if some people could pre-order the book. It's called Deadly Negligence, and her web page, it's not really a website, it's just a page. It shows you the pictures of her struggles and what happened. It's PAVIS, miraclehealing.com. That's PAVIS, miraclehealing.com. All right, and I'm going to repeat the phone numbers here right now for you to call. Don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Come on, call in and share. Let's hear your voice. 561-228-1921. This is the Diana Wright Show, and you are tuned in to my webpage, my website right now. I'm asking you also to check out my web store with my t-shirts that say I love me, and the mail to that shirt will be a t-shirt that will say, love me, as opposed to I love me. I think love me is a little more masculine, you know, so that's just for the guys. So if you go on and you order the shirts, we'll get them out to you, and we will encourage you to give them as gifts to people so that they can remember to do what I'm asking. I love me. Most powerful, greatest 3 words you will ever repeat to yourself. Don't forget it. Keep it as you go about your day. Also, secretaries. Do you know that if you're a secretary, you're still the #1 job for women in America? And that's trending since the 1950s. Nothing has changed. Wow. I was quite shocked about that. Secretaries was #1, and there were 4 others, but I think I just wrote down 3 others. Teachers, RNs, and nurses' aides. Wow. Those are still the careers that women pursue since the 1950s, and it's still trending to be that way. I find that quite interesting, don't you? Yeah. I thought we were in the boardroom and we were being lawyers and doctors and entering college more than guys and all those good things, and preachers and wow, secretaries. Yeah. If you're a secretary, you're still the #1 profession for women. Wow. I thought that was quite interesting. How about you? All right. We're going to attack the deadly one today again, the politics. You know, I'm trying to figure out why Senator John McCain, who was such a nice senator prior to 2008, and since 2008, he's become a person that I just don't get. He's become this angry, shall I say, envy-filled, jealous person. I watched him yesterday at the confirmation of Chuck Hagel, who is a Republican also. And I thought to myself, why so angry? Why so mean? Chuck Hagel was the same guy he was praising 4 years ago. Or 5 years ago, whatever years it was. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, he was also his vice chairperson for his campaign. So how does that person become the person that you're so combative with on television at a hearing for his confirmation? I just don't get it. What is so wrong about Chuck Hagel that all these conservatives are pretending behind cloaked doors to come out with all these commercials and all these promos to show that Chuck Hagel is not the right person? And I'm kind of thinking that if all the conservatives are against him, he must be a good guy. So, Senator McCain, I don't know. I'm sure you're not watching my show, but I'm sure at some point, somewhere, sometime, someone will hear me and say, please go back to the nice Senator McCain that you were prior to 2008. You were such a nice guy at that time. It's just that Barack Obama outshined you and was more lovable. And he won. Please, we beg you, I beg you to get over it. Because bitterness destroys the vessel that contains it. My mother always tells me that, and that's the reason I have grown up in my life. I don't keep malice. If you do me something that really hurts me, I'm upset. I'll tell you that I'm upset, and I'm done with it. I'm not upset with you. I'm not mad with you. But please, please, Senator McCain, go back to the person that you were. Because this person that you are right now, that I saw on television yesterday, I'm not liking that person. And I'm asking, why so mean? Why so angry? I just don't get it. What has happened to you? What has happened to the John McCain, Senator John McCain, that we so admired? And even though people were voting for Barack Obama in 2008 and not you, they still admired you. They still loved you as a hero. But right now, I think you're destroying that. And a lot of people are saying that you're just jealous of Hagel. I don't know why, because I don't think you wanted to be defense secretary. Or you're just bitter and envious because you didn't win in 2008. That's a long time ago to carry bitterness in your heart. Please. And as I segue from that, I beg you, ladies and gentlemen who are listening out there, if you have any grudge or anything in your heart for your parents, your brother, your sister, you need to get rid of it for yourself. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for that other person. Because remember, when you're busy worrying about and talking about and going over what that person did to you, that person is chugging along and not even remembering you. And you're there festering and they're happy. So forgive them. Move on. Yeah, it hurts a bit. Yeah, you're mad. Yeah, you're ticked off. But just let it go. Let it go. Let it go this moment as you hear my voice. Let it go. Just the way you love yourself, you should learn to forgive. Forgiveness is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. Because when you forgive someone, you release all that pent-up anger in your heart. So, see, one subject always takes me to something else. And as I tell everybody, I don't really have a script that I go by. I just write thoughts down or things down that I want to make sure I bring up. And then whatever comes out just flows. So, am I to assume that no one is listening to me? Or watching me? Or seeing me? Maybe not. Or they're just scared to call. 561-222-1921. And I was driving yesterday and I noticed that something, I don't get road rage, but I really get annoyed when people, they're in front of you and they wait till they get to where they're turning, then they put their indicator on. Shouldn't you be putting your indicator on prior to getting to where you're going to turn? So the other person knows that you're turning? Isn't that the way that most people hit someone in their back? I do believe that's what happens. A lot of people hit someone in their back because that person just made a sudden turn or a sudden stop and here you are. Oh, come on. Can we just use that indicator ahead of time when we're going to turn? If you're going to turn, please drive safely, protect yourself and the other driver. Don't just be acting like you're crazy. And you notice when someone crazy is on the road, you never see a cop. It's only when you're crazy that you see the cop. The cop only comes when you're doing something crazy, okay? That's the only time the cop comes, when you are acting crazy. And you always say to yourself, why wasn't the cop there when that guy was driving so fast? And I'm going to try to change a title here and give you something else to look at while I am on here. And I'm doing that. I'm really getting the knack of it now. Yes. So just reminding you, my name is Diana Wright, and this is the Diana Wright Show online. What we do every day in the show that you miss because most of you are probably at work or it's inconvenient, you can actually listen to the show. You don't have to be watching. You can listen on your iPhone, your smartphone, your iPad, if you don't have time to always be watching the video. But what we try to do is we'll try to put it up on YouTube. So if you miss a show, you can catch it on YouTube, because you never know, I might be saying something that will encourage you and make you love yourself that day or the next day. Or you might just say sweet nothings to your children or your husband or your wife just because I told you to do so. Or you might just drive a little safer because I advised you to do so. Or you might just forgive someone because I begged you to do so, because I'm actually begging you to forgive someone Please forgive people. Don't have people up in your heart, and when you go to bed you can't sleep because you're so mad about something that that person did to you. Let's not do that. All right? And I'm just asking you to spread the word and join us on Facebook, Twitter, and give the number out to your friends and let them give me a call while I'm on, and so they can air their views. We're going to try to do this at 8:30. I think I'm going to try to do that. You have to keep going to the site so I can let you know when that's going to happen. And 8:30, I figure most people will be home, settled, have their dinner, and do what they're supposed to be doing and being responsible. And then I'm going to try to get more people to come on to talk about the Caribbean, whichever way you want to pronounce that word, what's going on in the different Caribbean islands, and what's happening around the world. We're going to talk about culture. We're going to focus on young people who are doing great. So we just invite you to give us your suggestions as we move through this new venture, which is the Diana Wright Show online. I'm sure most of you who are from Jamaica and was there, I was either on the news as an anchor, or after that, I was also on radio. And one of the time I was doing all at the same time. Radio, television, the Diana Wright Show, and everything was in the mix at the same time. So you might remember, and also the show was aired in London. The show was aired in quite a few Caribbean islands, most of them actually. I did shows taped in St. Kitts, Nevis, and some of the other islands, and also we were supposed to go to London to shoot some shows, but that didn't materialize. But we are trying to do it online now, so you can get involved and join the conversation and give us your thoughts and your opinion. All right, so that's what we are trying to do here. So we really ask you to join us and tell your friends about us and give us a call. We're going to put the phone number back up for you so you can write it down, and it's 561-228-1921 to join the conversation. You can also join the conversation, of course, on Twitter, and tell us your thoughts on Facebook. We'd like to know that. I'm going to put up the Twitter information right now so you can see that. And I'm being the technical person and everything here all at one time. Isn't that wonderful? Man, you learn this thing. And again, I have to thank Dr. Blackwood from Marietta, Georgia. He has his church there, Alive Christian Center. Of course, it's a Seventh-day church, so you attend that church on Sabbath. So if you're visiting Marietta, Georgia, just check out Pastor Blackwood and his wife, Queen Esther, Alive Christian Center, right there in the heart of Marietta. It's actually close to that chicken that everybody knows that's in Marietta, Georgia. If you're going to there, people say, are you close to the chicken? Yeah, so you can check Pastor Blackwood out there. That's our Twitter page, and then we'll just give you that, and we'll give you the website also. I'm going to give you the website. That's the website, and I'm going to click it on here so you can see the website. So we've given you all the information that you kind of need to have today. I am going to, oh my goodness, it's coming up to when I need to close out already. My goodness, I've been talking for almost an hour already. And I'm just going to remind you of some of the things that we're going to be doing here and talking about. We're going to be talking about young people a lot because we want to encourage them. We want them to love themselves. Stop trying to be somebody else and be yourself. That's all we want you to do. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be confident. When you walk into a room, you need to own the room and be confident about what you're going to say. Take your time, gather your thoughts, and speak. All right? And remember the consequences. If you're going to do something, just give it some thought before you do it. And if you can't deal with the consequences afterwards, then don't do it. Okay? Just don't do it. Also, reminding you, April 30th will be the National I Love Me Day. You can find the t-shirts online in my web store at dianawrightTV.webs.com. It's right there on your screen. And we're going to do health talk, which I started yesterday. And I'm going to just make a few comments about going to the doctor for a physical. It's quite important to do so, even though there was a research that was done maybe about a month ago that stated that going to the doctor for an annual physical does not guarantee you good health or guarantee that you're going to live any longer. It's just going to the doctor to make sure you are on top of the things that are happening with you. Because when you take your blood test, remember cholesterol, thyroid, now they're on this vitamin D high. And for the men, it's a low T. All of a sudden, the television is filled with low T, low testosterone for men. You can use this gel and that gel. But there's so many side effects to that gel and that stuff for low T that I'm not so sure, because they keep talking about, oh, if you're pregnant, if your wife is pregnant, or if you shouldn't be close to a child, or why do I want to take it? I'm not so sure I want to, my husband to be doing that. So are there any natural ways that you can increase your testosterone? I'm going to look that up when I get off today. I'm going to actually look that up and let you know. All right? I'm going to really, really look that up, because it's something that really bugs me. Because when they advertise all these medicines on television, they go into this long list of, oh, if you take this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to... So why am I taking it? If I'm going to take a medication and it's going to kill me in other areas, I don't think I want to take that medication. Okay? So I don't know about you, but I believe that if you're going to take medicine, you need to truly take the time to look at those side effects before you actually take that medication, and decide in your heart, is it worth me taking the medication to get me better, or is this medication going to ruin me otherwise and I really should not be taking it, but I shall try to find a natural way to do it. Now remember, if we think about Steve Jobs, he in the end regretted that he took the route of trying to find a natural way to cure his pancreatic cancer that he had. So we really need to be careful about that. But if you're taking medication for just simple things, I really think you should really truly read that paper that you get with that medication. If you don't want to read the paperwork and you love to be online, just go online and research that particular medicine. Is it worth my getting all those side effects? That's going to just make me feel lousy just to get rid of what I'm trying to get rid of here, or is there another way? It's really worth for you to do that. Watching the clock as we count down, coming down to the close of the show. So that's going to be part of my health talk. Make sure you try to keep on top of your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and those things that we know are not really good for us. If you know that your body is like mine, who I don't really absorb calcium very well, don't try to be drinking milk every day or eating cheese every day. Okay, stuff like that. So you don't have to be taking no medication for that now. Just curb yourself. We all feel for a piece of cheese or some cereal with milk. My favorite cereal is Frosted Flakes. Isn't that shameful? My daughter laughed at me when I told her that was my favorite cereal. As a matter of fact, when I was younger and going to college, my favorite cereal was Pops. I used to just love it, okay? And I still like Frosted Flakes. I'm a little wary about the Pops these days, but Frosted Flakes is still my favorite cereal. I don't care what you say and how childish it sounds. It's my favorite cereal. So, you have to know that you can't drink as much milk. You can't eat a lot of yogurt and, and no supplements. Like one doctor said to me one time, who told you that you needed to take supplement for calcium? I said nobody did, but on TV they said you should have calcium so you don't get osteoporosis. So I took it upon myself to take supplements, and I really didn't need to take it, but it was good because it was a huge tablet that you just dropped in water and effervesces, and you're drinking, and it was good. So I got hooked on the thing, not knowing that it was actually hurting me. So I just caution you, when you hear things on television, discuss it with your doctor first, or make sure you do some research so you don't make any mistakes like I did, okay? And if you know you can't absorb the calcium very well, lay off the cheese, lay off the dairy products. Dairy products are good for some people. It's not good for me. It's not good for a lot of other people. So I don't think you're missing much anyway if you don't eat dairy products for a while. I'm sure once in a blue moon, if you sneak a piece of cheese, because cheese can be wonderful, tasting. My favorite cheese is brie and goat cheese. And of course, I just discovered a new cheese called champagne cheese from Costco. So, those are my favorite things. What are your favorite things? And we just have to be careful that we don't overdo things. And really and truly, everything we do, whether we're eating, drinking, or whatever, we really need to do it in moderation. And remember to drink water. Oh my goodness. How much water do I need to drink? 8 glasses. You drink 8 glasses, you'll be going back and forth to the bathroom. So you have to make sure you drink those 8 glasses when you're at home or near a bathroom. I do drink a lot of water. I try to, but I really try to do it at nights or when I'm home so I can gulp it all down. But they said that's not good either. My mom tells me, why are you drinking all that water at one time? So, it's hard to keep up with that 8 glasses thing. But I'm going to try. I promise you I'm going to try. Just like I promise you that I try to improve my patience by praying about it. My friend said to pray harder. Sister Lovelet said I should pray a little harder with my patience because I'm really impatient. I just believe that whatever you're doing, you should do it with excellence. And if someone asks you to do something, don't stand there and look. Just move and go think about how you're going to get it done. And if you promise you're going to do something, please just do it. Almost time to go. So we're going to just remind you again. April 30th will be the National I Love Me Day. And please tell your friends about my website. It's on the page right now. And do join me as often as you can. And if 8:30 is a time that's more convenient for you, please send me an email and let me know. Or go on Facebook or Twitter, tweet it to me, whatever. Follow me on Twitter and let me know that 8:30 is a good time for you. Or is it 8 o'clock? That's better. So we're trying to test that out to see when most people will be at home so we can get a captive, big, huge audience like my Diana Wright show in Jamaica it broke every record that was there to be broken. It was more popular than the evening news. It broke records in London and all the islands. So we want to do the same thing here online. So we're going to need your help to tell your friends, scream about it, talk about it, memorize the telephone number. So even if you're not where you're supposed to be in front of your computer watching me when I'm live, you can still call and leave your comments on the email and all of that. All right. So that's where we're going to have to leave you today. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a wonderfully blessed weekend. Super blessed. Do what is good for you. And don't forget, I love me, not just for you, but for your children and for everyone around you. Teach them to love themselves. Teach them to be happy about who they are. Teach them to want to live in excellence and live in abundance because God promised us that. He promised us abundance and prosperity, but we have to go out and claim it. And most of us, sometimes we're looking for God to do something. He's not necessarily going to do a big thing. Sometimes it's just the little things. So if you commit yourself and you say, what does God want me to do for myself? Stop waiting for God to drop that big thing in your lap. God might just be waiting on you. So I love me. And don't forget, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Thank you so much once again for joining me, and au revoir. Bonsoir. Oh, those people are way ahead of time now. Take care and ciao.